name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of The White Lotus Season 1. Now, I didn't know what I was getting into with this show. All I knew is that there was a beach in it, it was a tropical show, but that's where my knowledge ended. And at first, I was just like, wow, there's a lot of characters. I don't know how to feel about this. But as the show progresses, it gets better and better, and by the end of the second episode, I was in, and I only got more in after that. This is a show that I really ended up enjoying. I think it has some hilarious humor in it. It's definitely some cringe humor. Sometimes you're just kind of embarrassed to even be watching what's happening on the screen, but it just brought a smile to my face. It's a really well-made show by Mike White, who... only other directing work I've seen from him is Brad's Status, a movie with Ben Stiller that came out back in 2016. That was really forgettable, but his directing here is top notch. For a comedic show, he brings so much to it, especially the use of music throughout. The music just carries this rhythm to it. He gives this show its own flow that really kept me entertained and really kept me engaged throughout. The entire cast is fantastic. In fact, I feel like I have to read out the entire cast, so here we go. Maury Bartlett, I'm not familiar with this guy, but he was a standout to me. I thought his comedic delivery was top notch, and I just loved what he brought to his character. I think he gave the best performance in this entire show. I was really impressed by his work. Connie Britton, I think, is also fantastic. I think she added a lot of depth to her character, and I was impressed with her. Jennifer Coolidge plays Tanya, who is definitely my least favorite character, but that said, Jennifer Coolidge plays her so perfectly that she really felt like a real person. Alexandra Daddario, I've never been too impressed with her acting before, but this is easily her best performance yet. She gives her characters a lot of depth, and the way that she brings emotion to her, especially in the last few episodes, it feels really real. And the way it all ends, I just found it to be tragic, and she's really great in this show. Fred Heikinger doesn't have a lot to do, but I still thought he was a welcome addition to the cast. Jake Lacy, I thought he was fantastic in his role as kind of the douchey boyfriend who doesn't pay much attention to his wife, and I love his main storyline, which I'll go more into in just a bit. Brittany O'Brady, I thought her character started off as one kind of character, but as the show progresses, she really reveals a lot of layers to her, and I really felt bad for her. Natasha Rothwell, I thought did a really good job. She's just so sympathetic, and she's just such a kind soul that by the end you totally understand why her character does what she does, and she really grounds it really well. I thought she did a great job. Sydney Sweeney, I just finished complaining about her a few months ago in my review for The Voyeurs, a movie that I absolutely hated and I thought she was really bad in. She's good in Euphoria, but she's far from the best actress in that show. This is easily her best performance yet. I think she plays into the type of character that she's typically playing, but instead of just playing that one-dimensional type of character, she really gives this character a lot of depth. And the way that her character progresses throughout felt really real. This is easily the most impressed I've been with Sydney Sweeney so far as an actress. Steve Zahn is also in this show, and I just love the guy as an actor. I think he's very underrated, and I thought he was great in this show. The entire cast just does a fantastic job, and I loved everyone interacting with each other, especially when you get people from different groups interacting with each other. I just found it brought lots of comedic elements to it. My favorite storyline in the entire show, though, is the rivalry between the hotel manager and Jake Lacy's character, Shane. Just the way that storyline starts off and escalates, it not only reveals a lot about their characters, but it also goes into some hilarious moments that actually had me laughing out loud. It just, that entire storyline and where it all ends up, I have found to be the most satisfying. All the other storylines are really well handled as well. There's a storyline about the two girls who leave their backpack on the beach, and while that storyline turns out to go, I thought that was really excellent stuff. I just thought every storyline was engaging in its own way. There was some political stuff that I wasn't a fan of, but whenever stuff like that appears in a show, I just have to remind myself that it's the characters saying that, it's not the show. So the characters are political and not just the show. So it doesn't bother me too much, but at times it does get brought up in cringy ways, but the characters are meant to be cringy like that. So that's my take on that. And one other issue I had was I think the last episode went on for a little too long. There were quite a few moments where someone was walking and there was this slow, dramatic music playing. And that just happens a bit too much. So I'm just like, okay, sure, let's pick it up for this finale. I don't need it to be all dramatic on me. But that all said, like, those are my only issues with this show, and it's very, very few. Like, this show surprised me with just how funny and engaging it was. I found every character to be so well defined, and the different personalities and how they interact with each other was just so well written, and everyone plays into it so perfectly. The show was hilarious, it was well made, and it's just something so unique. Like, I can't think of a show that had this kind of feel to it. And I definitely had a great time watching it. So I'm going to go ahead and give The White Lotus Season 1 an 8.5 out of 10. I really did love it. I think this show is something that you should definitely check out if you haven't. But have you seen The White Lotus? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon, and Gavin out.